Hello Animals fans and welcome back to AniLysis. Today we're looking at the Waterfront. And Adobe Firefly really surprised me actually, because I typed in straight away waterfront in front of a river in a California city with skyscrapers. And this is exactly what I had in mind. Thanks Firefly. Because I'd looked on Google for ages and I just couldn't find anything that worked. And Adobe Firefly was just, here you go, wonderful. That looks exactly like I think it must look like. And why do I think that? Well, let's look at the limited number of quotes that we have regarding the waterfront. The show below us was on a huge outdoor stage. A massive crowd pressed up against the stage, surging and seething and sweating. And not looking all that great either. I mean, from the air, mostly what you see of humans is their heads. You see little ovals of hair. And let me tell you something, there are a lot of bad haircuts out there. Planet Hollywood was on the waterfront where the river cuts through downtown. Tall buildings loomed over it, skyscrapers 50 and 60 stories tall. I stuck my face up out of the water. Ah! Somebody screamed. Oh my lord, what is it? Some people in a little motorboat. I guess they'd been listening to the music from the Planet Hollywood. So the waterfront, it's only mentioned really in this book. In fact, pretty much only this book at all. Number 17, The Underground. And from those quotes, you gathered that the Animorphs had gone to Planet Hollywood. And here's the quote explaining why, how, and, well, freaking why. Let me get this straight. There's a new Planet Hollywood opening in town, and you and Rachel decided you want to go, but you can't get tickets. So you want to fly there and morph. You want to use our powers for a totally selfish purpose. Is that it, basically? I shook my head. No, absolutely not. We want to do this for Axe. He needs to be exposed to culture. Me, I don't care. I grinned, unable to lie all that well. It's an entertainment event, Marco cried. A major event. Stars, famous people, millionaires, babes. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the Axeman to see Bruce and Demi. So, the point of going to the waterfront, and this is pretty much the only time they ever go there in the series specifically, is because there's a new Planet Hollywood opening there. What's a Planet Hollywood? It's basically some fancy schmancy restaurant. It was one of those gimmicky sorts of restaurants, you know. And so, something like that, maybe not as, well, maybe, because we are talking California, but something as in your face as that could end up being, where's my thing gone? Could end up somewhere along this waterfront, because there isn't that much space here, but the waterfront, according to this image, stretches backwards and forwards. It's quite long. So here's downtown, where the quote says the waterfront is. It's right beside the high-rises, 50, 60 stories tall, which these are. Thank you, Adobe Firefly. And they're right by the waterfront, where eventually Rachel and the other Animorphs pull George Edelman, if you remember that. They pull him into the river, they sort of float him down there, rather than him dropping straight down. So, say it was the Kenny building. Say that, I don't know, that one up there is the Kenny building, that tall one there. George Edelman would have just plummeted straight down, but the Animorphs just sort of pulled him closer to the river and dropped him there, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger pulled him out. You see there's like a field here, so I'm thinking maybe just off screen this way, Planet Hollywood opens up and there's a big park area where they have the big stage with all the celebrities. But look at this place, it looks beautiful. And you can imagine that sort of event happening in this sort of area. And I think that's what I imagine when I think about the waterfront of the Animorphs town. Or city. That doesn't look like a town, that looks like a city. But what defines a city in America as opposed to a town? Because I know here in the UK, if a town has a cathedral, it's then a city. Hence why the only city in Cornwall is Truro. Why? Because it has a cathedral. What is the smallest city in England? It's a place called Wells, which is tiny. It's barely a village, really. But it's a city because it's got a cathedral, Wells Cathedral, quite a famous one. Is it the same in America? Americans, help me out. What defines a city as opposed to a town in America? Is it the same? Something to do with the churches? That's what it's like over here. Anyway, we don't really hear anything else about the waterfront. It could have taken place anywhere, really, the George Edelman thing. It just needed a tall building and a body of water. So, yeah, there's a river running down through downtown. And we know that from the mountains analysis, that there's a river that runs from the mountains towards the sea. And it winds through the forest. And so, we're actually being led down a path here. So this river comes from the mountains and eventually goes through downtown, through the middle of the city. Where does it join the water? Well, that's actually quite important, I feel. We couldn't exactly walk on a beach full of people. I'll be there in 2 hours, okay? I have some chores to do. I ended up being a little late. They were all waiting for me. It was an area I'd been to before with my dad. It's a little park near a bridge, a good place for fishing. About half a mile away, the river empties into the ocean. The river is lined with trees along most of its length. Here and there are homes and private docks, but the spot we'd chosen was hidden from the bridge and from any houses. So now is the time to bring out our inner Bob Ross and bring out our good friend MS Paint. So, this is the forest and woodland leading up to the mountains. And was it Medibolic saying how I need to work on my trees? Alright, freaking... there. Representative, okay? There's your tree. Bastard. According to the mountains analysis that we did recently, I will link it at the end of this video so you can go check that out. The mountains are over to the west. Not like the actual California where it should be east. Go check out the analysis to see my reasoning, but the mountains are up that way. And the river runs down through the mountains, twiddles around a bit, and then comes out here. Let's say this out here is the sea. How do we know it's the sea? Freaking there, sea. That's the city. Downtown can be this bit here. So the river comes along here and cuts through downtown and goes off that way to eventually join the sea over here. Let's say that the beaches are along here. The bridge is, I don't know, here. That's a bridge. Bridge, whatever. And so, like with the mountains, you know, it's mostly trees around here. And the animals are hidden here, I don't know. But yeah, you know the quality of my drawings. Just freaking deal with it. I might get Ghost of Essan to actually start doing these from now on. Bless him, he's got about 5 things I need him to draw in a moment. So I think this does connect quite nicely with the mountains analysis because we covered the river running through the foothills of the mountains, curves around a little bit, and then it comes through the city, through the downtown area. And that bit there, where the river cuts through downtown, that's the waterfront. And that's where they have the Planet Hollywood, that's where all the celebrities go, and where they save George Edelman. But the river doesn't go straight into the sea there, it goes further out of the city, back into wooded areas, interspersed with houses and what have you. Then it comes across this big bridge and goes out to sea around these beaches. That's what I'm suspecting it looks like. Apart from that, there's not really much else to say. The animals never specifically go to the waterfront again. They go to downtown a lot. They spend a lot of time in there, and that'll be its own separate analysis. But this section of where the city meets this river, yeah, they don't necessarily need to go there at any point apart from Planet Hollywood, which in itself is not even a mission, really. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Sorry for the appalling quality of the drawing, but I hope it gets my point across. It doesn't need to be good, it just needs to be easy to understand, and I hope it was. Anyway, that's the waterfront. There's nothing much to cover. So, what's next on AniLysis? Next time on AniLysis Ball Z, we have Spinziville, and we've got up to book 19 in here, not including. So let's go. Spin, 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 spiddly spoddly spoo. What's it going to be? I'll tell you. You better listen, because whatever. It is Visa 3's Sea Snake Morph. Now, I'm pretty certain that's from book 15. So, did it ever have a name? I don't think it did. So yeah, that's it. The big yellow sea snake, I believe, from book 15. That's coming up next time. My back is hurting, so I'm probably going to go sort that out. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next time. Ta-ra! Somewhere else in the animal universe. Bye.